Hey guys, TheMtVernonkid here back again. How's everybody doing on the pack? I hope everybody is well, as always. And today, guys, as you can see the title of this video, I'm here to give my thoughts and reviews on She-Hulk Attorney at Law, the latest series in the Disney Plus series, which is also part of Phase 4. We have one more movie project to close out Phase 4, which is, these are considered the multiverse sagas, and that is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Now, this will be a little this will be a little spoiler. I will spoil some things, so if you have not seen the last episode, don't come on here and ask. But the first thing I'm gonna let everybody know is I'm not gonna be one of these people that I've constantly seen. I'm gonna say my piece, and I've seen these people constantly saying this was a waste of time, blah 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 blah, and all those people, I'm gonna get to it, and I'm gonna get on all these quote unquote haters, or so is exactly what it is. But there will be spoilers. There will be some spoilers, but I'm just gonna speak my thoughts on the casting, mainly Tatiana as in general. But let's do it. So first and foremost, guys, if you've been following my channel for a long time, you know that I'm a huge She-Hulk fan, and you know by far I've been saying for a long time, if there's one superheroine in the Marvel universe that I want in the MCU, it is Jennifer Walters. And we got it finally when they announced it. And I must say, I love this series. I thought it was great. I felt like this was a clear pick point, like picking of the guard of John Burns and Dan Slott's run of She-Hulk. That's pretty much what this was. It was a comedic series from the get-go. I was not shocked when they announced that it was. I was not even surprised how they executed this. Jennifer Walters breaking the fourth wall, things like that. I'm sure there were a lot of people out there that were saying, "Hey, she's doing Deadpool." Wrong. Deadpool's doing her. She was doing it before Deadpool was doing it. Yes, maybe you could say, well, Deadpool did it better, but still, give the credit where credit is due. Jen Walters was doing it first. I liked the flow of the series. I did like the idea of how they presented it, as Jen didn't want to be in the life of a quote-unquote superhero, or balance her time as Jen Walters' attorney and She-Hulk. So I enjoyed that kind of, she was trying to balance it, but also fight between the odds of, I don't want to do this. It's not in the family, but technically kinda it is. It's a part of the family. So I really liked that aspect of what Tatiana Maslany did. She was really great. And when she was casted, I was like, wow, okay, that's great. If you've seen Orphan is Black, she did a magnificent job on that show. So to see her on that show and then see her come to this and see how she's portrayed, I like what they did with that, in terms of like, oh, well, you're just Jen here. But when she's She-Hulk, everybody, all eyes on her. And that's pretty much how it was portrayed in the comics too, for a long time, where she had to balance. I even like the fact that they did not have her stay She-Hulk. Like, she was able to change back and forth, which, Bruce can't do all the time. Bruce couldn't do that. But I like that aspect of what I saw. The supporting cast was great. You had characters in there that were a part of her comic and her supporting cast from her law firm. That was perfect. So I didn't mind that. My only thing was, I thought it really was going to be somewhat a it was going to be almost like a Law and Order like episode, like she was going to have a case every week, and I didn't mind that they didn't do that, but it was fine. Like I said, going back to Tatiana, it's very interesting because if you guys know, my fellow geeks, if you probably know this, for a long time before she was casted, there was one actress that was constantly saying she wants to be this character. She wants to be She-Hulk. She was saying it as far as the eye can see. It was kind of like, no, it wasn't like her. No, it wasn't too much like her. But it was for a long time. Angie Hartman, who was of Law and Order fame, she's always wanted to play this character. And when I watched this series, I'm like, now I'm looking at it like, if she was casted, could this have gone the same way that it's gone? And I'm like, I don't think so. I really don't think so. So it worked out better for Tatiana. I like the chemistry that she had with Mark Ruffalo, and we got to see a little bit more of what Hulk has been up to since, and also glad to see that his arm is all healed up, because the fact that the Russo brothers, like, that's permanent, I was calling BS on that real quick, because Hulk's healing factor is just as powerful as Wolverine's. So no, that should have been healed up pronto. So I was glad to see that they healed that, but I do like the fact that they brought up, like, okay, where he was staying afterwards, and things like that, and I really like that about it. I'm getting used to the Professor Hulk side of the Hulk. It's not the weakest Hulk, especially if you're going by comic standpoint. It's not the weakest. Believe it or not, his weakest form is Joe Fixit, the Gray Hulk. That's his weakest. So, but I still feel the same way that my friend Mr. Multiverse feels. Is like, I still feel that Marvel has kind of slept on the Hulk side of the MCU, and I think that's accountable to the point, because there's still some kind of thing between Universal and them. So it's like, oh my God, like, it's time that you guys suck. Let it go. Let Marvel have its baby back. That's their kid, not yours. So I feel like that. The amount of characters were in this, I will say that was kind of a little bit of a fluctuation for me, because it did sometimes feel like, whose show is this? And I love that they played up that a lot. That's one thing I loved about the series. They played up that aspect of, Jen is like, wait a minute, whose show? This is my show. But I love you had Wong come back, and he's watching Sopranos and stuff like that. And Benedict Wong has just become that go-to character. I think he's kind of taken the place of Stan Lee as the cameos and everything like that. And I'm fine with that. More power to him. But I like that. And the who's who of characters that were in this show that only true comic fans would know was great. I actually love that they showcased guys like Manbull and El Cust, I'm forgetting his name. Mutants. These are mutants on there. Immortal Man, Mr. Immortal from the Great Lake Avengers. These are mutants that were on the show. I loved it. I thought, and the who's who of characters was great for me. I was like, okay. And then the one that really just stood out for me was like, no way did they bring this character in, was Porcupine. I'm like, holy crap, they brought Porcupine, and he is in his costume. Yeah, it looked really weird, but I was like, yo, that's Porcupine. The last time Porcupine had a big spotlight was in the Spider-Woman series. I believe Porcupine is the father of Jessica's kid, I think. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm like, okay. And I actually like that. I I also enjoyed. I also enjoyed seeing Abomination back was cool. You know, I thought it was cool to see him back, and he kind of has some sort of repentance for what he's done. And I understand they want to try to make amends with that character and, you know, give it a redemption story. But at the end of the day, Emil Blonsky is Emil Blonsky, and you can't change him too much. Emil Blonsky is a bad guy. He should have stayed a bad guy. But, you know, I thought at first this whole, you know, Swami-like style that he was doing was just a front, because he's really still, but yeah, he was, you know, he really did change. And, you know, maybe we will see him again. You know, maybe we'll see him again. But if we don't, it was still good to see him. You know, they played up the whole, you know, Incredible Hulk. Like Bruce even said, I was a whole different person. Like they pulled that and was like basically acknowledging, yes, the Bruce Wayne that was in that movie was not me, or I was totally different. I'm like, no, they didn't do that, but it was fun, and that was the whole concept of this series to me. It was fun. I didn't take it serious. I came into the series knowing what to expect. That's the issue. That's the difference between me and all these other poops. Yeah, I said it like that. That just went around bashing this movie, because these are the people that have never picked up a She-Hulk comic in their life, and it was just like, oh, this is woke. This should be an action tragedy for general. And it's like, have you not read the comics? Have you not read her books? She is the total opposite of her cousin. Always has been. Always will be. She's not the brooding monster like her cousin was and kind of still is. No, she is balanced with who she is. While there are times Bruce sometimes isn't, sometimes Bruce is not. He's always trying to cure himself or this and that, always trying to find means of balancing Hulk. That's different. But to constantly hear people saying, "Oh, this is boring," or "Oh man, this is so woke." It's like, I heard one comment, and my friend Mr. Multi even brought up too. He basically said, I saw these comments, people saying, "Oh, this is so woke. Stan Lee would be so disgraced." I'm like, do you guys know that She-Hulk was the last character he co-created for Marvel? Do you? You don't, because you wouldn't be saying that if you did. It's like, every time I heard something, it drove me to the point where I'm like, if I wanted to see the teasers of next episode, it was like, Chris, don't read the comments. Chris, don't read the comments. There were parts of my brain and the other sides of me, like Hurricane and a couple other people up here in my head saying, don't read the comments, Chris. Don't read it, because it's just going to upset you. And that's exactly what I had to do. Every time I saw a video on YouTube saying, this is ridiculous, this is a waste of time, blah, hit the button. Do not recommend any channels like this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your negativity. Don't bring your negativity in my world, because I enjoyed the show. I didn't care about She-Hulk twerking. It was like, oh my God, what are you? You are so bummed out over that. Oh my God, she twerked. Have you ever read the comics? This girl's is a free fall wallflower at times, where she is fully expressing of her body and fully expressing of who she is. And that was a thing. It was ridiculous. Now, let's talk about Daredevil. Daredevil returning to the MCU. Great to see Charlie Cox back. There was only one man, in my opinion, that could pull off that role. If they had recasted Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock, I probably would have been upset. I would have probably blown a gasket. But Charlie Cox coming back in the classic yellow and red costume, great. I love the idea of showing the real character that makes superhero costumes. That was great. I love that aspect. Seeing him do his thing in that 8th episode, and him, showing off his powers, and then seeing people talk about he's got a power upgrade, saying, oh, look how he's flipping around when he was when he was in the parking lot. I literally told these people, dude, what are you talking about? Power upgrade. Daredevil's always been that freaking agile. Always. It's just that Marvel has been able to show it better than what they showed on Netflix. He's always been that agile. He could do that in his sleep. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you just... It's the point where I'm just like, it's respecting the source material, and there are so many people out there that just can't accept that. That, yeah, it's respecting the source material of these characters. Oh, it's breaking forth. I said, and I even posted this comment too. I said, if Deadpool did this the exact same way, Deadpool did the exact same thing that Jen Walters did, none of you fools out there would be complaining. But because Jen does it, it's a problem. I can't stand that. It was like, oh my God, what are you doing this for? Just for your views? Yeah, just for your views. If you don't like the show, stop watching it. But you continue to watch it, and you're ridiculous. But seeing Daredevil do his thing, and seeing him, people upset that he hooked up. He had a one-night stand. He got busy with Jen. Do you know how many people Jen has gotten busy with over the time? She's slept with Hercules. She slept with a couple of people. Daredevil's a Mac. Okay, that man he slept with a lot of women himself. I mean, a player, but a Mac, hell yeah. You name a character, I can tell you, yeah, he slept with her. Black Widow, yep. Former lover. Typhoid Mary, yep. Echo, yep. You name it. I can tell you characters he slept with. The only girl he has turned down in terms of was Squirrel Girl. Yeah. She asked him she said, do you got a girlfriend? After he saved her. And he said, how old are you? That was the one girl that I remember Daredevil turning down. So seeing him get busy with Jen, had no problem with it. Grow up. Things like that. The things I did not like about the show, I was a little PO'd about the Wrecking Crew. Oh my God, I wanted them to... Look, I know some people don't like the Wrecking Crew, but I do. I like them. You take them... When people write them seriously and take them seriously, they could be a threat. But to see them just be used as them 4 douchebags, crap. I like seeing Leapfrog. That was great. Titania, I was a little disappointed in. I didn't like that vibe of her. I wanted her to be more like the Titania from the comics, where she was always coming after Jen because that's her arch nemesis, and she liked fighting Jen. Like I like fighting you, you're almost like the quote unquote the only one I don't have to hold back. I was hoping that Titania in that we would see that she was married to Crusher Creel. I was hoping Crusher Creel would be in there, the Absorbing Man. That's her husband. So those were certain things I didn't like. I did not like how they used the Intelligenia. I was a little disappointed with that because the way they used it, I was just like, no, why are you doing that? Because this is the group of the big brains villains in the Marvel Universe. MODOK, Red Ghost, Leader, Doctor Doom, the Mad Thinker, all these people like that. These are the people. There was a huge story arc about them, and it took the entire Hulk family to take them down. I thought that was and then I even thought the man who was feeling Jen for a while, I'm forgetting his name, but I thought that was an older version of Amadeus Cho. I was like, are they bringing Amadeus Cho in this already? But he's older. But no, it turned out not. So I didn't like that too much. I know what they were trying to go with it, but I wasn't really feeling that. Because I really thought, oh, there's somebody out here trying to take Jen's blood. And I'm thinking, okay, if it is them, they're trying to recreate, we may be getting a version of Red Hulk or something like that. So I was a little upset about that. I love the callback to the Bill Bixby era of Hulk. I really thought that was great, but just filling in with Jen, I thought that was great. I love that. I love when you do nostalgia stuff like that. You're basically paying respect to the foundation, and you got to. I respect that. And more importantly, seeing Scar. Yeah, Scar, son of Hulk, in the show. I was like, when he said, I got something, we saw Bruce at the end, and he said, hey guys, I got something to show you. And he comes, and you just see Scar come out. He was a little shorter, but still, I was like, no, they didn't bring in Scar. Cool. But we're missing, is it just going to be Scar, or are we going to bring in the other children of the Hulk? That'd be great. But once we saw Hulk was going off somewhere, I'm like, is he going back to Scar? Because that was all I can think of. We could see a version of World War Hulks, or I don't think World War Hulk, but still, to see him, I wish he talked more, but he just stood there, and that's fine. But yeah, once I saw it, I was like, oh, Scar, and I just brought this up too to friends. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if Scar appeared in this show? And he came. He did come. So yeah, like I said, the negatives don't outweigh what I liked about the show, because it was just fun to me. That's what this was. This was, from day one, it was a comedy. And there was too many people out here thought it was going to be something else entirely. And you're fooling yourself. And these are the people that need to open a freaking book. Open a book and because anytime I see this rhetoric of stupidity and just like, oh my God, this is dumb and blah blah, it's like you just proved that you never opened a She-Hulk book in your life. You never. And I hate to call people out like that. I hate to call fellow geeks out there, but the fact is, if you like the series, thank you. I appreciate you, because I enjoyed it too. If you didn't, don't bring your negativity here. But if you want to explain to me why, then tell me why. I want to know why. Why you didn't like the series. Because if it's the same stupid rhetoric, don't bother. That's the one I don't. It's like, if it's just like, oh, it's too comedic, get out. Get out. Get out. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Because once again, I'll say it again, Jen Walters' She-Hulk is a lot different than her cousin. Always have been, and she always will be. Now, if there's a season 2, I hope there is a season 2 and there's more to come. And we see more characters come in. But still remember, Marvel, that this is her show. And will be real. If they do a season 2, the one character I definitely want to see a part of the show is Jennifer, is Jen's friend, who is actually a Skrull. And she's the daughter of Super Skrull. Jacinda. I would love to see her, because she worked for Jen in her office. But outside of that, yes, I liked the show. I loved it. I thought it was fun. Where would I rank it? It's up there. I may do a ranking of the series again, but as of right now, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I'm not like those fools out there that just wanted to talk and, I don't know, get their views up. I don't care. I really didn't care. You're not gonna change my mind that it was a stupid show, it was a waste of time. No, it was fun. And I loved the finale, just the whole wall breaking. That came straight out of John Byrne's run, where it was completely out there. If they had dropped some characters in there when she was walking through Marvel Studios, that would have been so funny. I'd have loved that. Like actors or so, I would have loved that. But other than that, it was fun. And I hope we get more. But outside of that, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. like I said, guys, I'm not mad at anybody who didn't like the show. It's just so tired of the negative crap that it was just like I blocked that stuff. I was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And that was my point. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. If you don't like it, fine. Don't come on here and say I didn't like it, because I will delete your comment real quick. I don't want to hear it. But if you got common sense and you want to tell me why you didn't like it, then great. Or maybe you just were confused at what you thought the show was going to be about. That's what I think a lot of people, they were confused at what the show was going to be about. But yeah. But I have gone back and watched some episodes, and I'm still saying to myself, yeah, I'm still imagining Angie Hartman playing, and I'm like, yeah, Tatiana was a better choice. She was great. She was great on this show. I really enjoyed it. The other thing I will say this, and I forgot to mention this. I wish Jen was a little bit more muscular instead of lean. Even when she was She-Hulk, she still felt lean. I wish she looked more like a real trim, cut up fitness model. A lot of the fitness models that I follow on like Twitter and stuff, they're beautiful. So I see that, and yes, you could tell, guys, I love strong women. So it was just like I wanted that, and that's kind of the same thing with Titania too. I wished the actress who played her got into some shape, like got cut up a little bit to play that, because she didn't even really feel like she was truly a match for Jen. That's the way I looked at it. I just wish they didn't go with that route. That was some of the things I didn't like. I wish she felt more like Titania from the comics. But beggars can't be choosers, right? At the end of the day, I still enjoyed it. And I hope you guys did too. And with that being said, my pack, peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. True believers, deuces.